Hello everybody, welcome to your reading for what is coming for you in April 2025 in terms of your astrology. So for the first part of this video, I have my very cute board here, and I'm going to talk to you about the transits and the things that are happening, specifically where the planets are in the sky this month. If you want to go straight to your reading, where we talk, specifically about probably the things that you really want to know about your life, you can go straight there. The timestamp is in the description. But if you would like to sit with me and do some astrology for a second, please feel free. We will go through it quite slowly, and I want to talk about the themes that are coming up in April, and I want to talk about, for example, we have an event where Venus meets the North Node. A lot of cool things happening there. We have a full moon, we have a new moon, a lot of things going on. And I wanted to go into a bit more detail about what that means for the planets and what that looks like in terms of the sky and how they relate to each other. So April as a whole is a month for, instead of wearing your heart completely on your sleeve, it's a month for putting your heart to work. It's a month for having some passion in what you do. It's a month for in your interpersonal relationships and giving them a little bit of a jump start, a little bit of excitement. There's new dynamics in your interpersonal relationships. There's a bit more energy, a bit more of let's put some effort into this. Let's move forward. There is a bit of miscommunication throughout April. I will say that, we have Mercury still retrograde for a while in April. It is moving back into Pisces, as you can see, if you're watching this in March. It is here, going backwards in the sky, moving into Pisces, just like Venus as well there. And this period of time is going to really focus in on your responsibilities, your commitments that you have, and any insights you've received during March. It's a month to really let boredom inspire everything you do. Anything that you've been feeling like, oh my goodness, this is so long, this is such a slog. Now's the time to pick up the pace a little bit. We have a lot of Aries energy, which we did at the end of March, but this is going to really ramp up now that we have Neptune moving into Aries, and then these guys will continue to join them, and then later on, in a couple of months' time, so will he. So I'll explain what each of these planets are before we start. We have Mercury here in Pisces. We have Venus here in Pisces. We have Saturn in Pisces. We have the Sun in Aries. Neptune in Aries. Neptune is a newcomer in Aries. Say hello. It's been in Pisces for a long time. We have Uranus in Taurus. Jupiter in Gemini. Mars in Cancer, which will move into Leo later on in the month. And we have Pluto in Aquarius. The North and South Node, Pisces, Virgo. You might notice that I didn't put the moon on the board. That is because she is here, do not worry, but that is because she moves a lot during the month, and I thought it would be best to just pop her on the board when something significant happens between her and another planet. AKA, there'll be a full moon, there'll be a new moon, there's some conjunctions, so I just wanted to leave her on the side for now. She is a main character, just not right now. But as we go into the month, Venus, which is, the planet of pleasure, creativity, is the planet of what we would consider relationships or one-on-one connections, is still retrograde. It still is. She's still doing her backwards journey. And this is a period of time to really keep noticing the details of your interpersonal dynamics. So in the relationships that you currently hold in your life, what needs reworking in that area, and how are you going to rework those things in order to make them feel more smooth? Obviously, with Mercury retrograde, we've had a lot of miscommunication. With Venus retrograde, there's been a lot of maybe some back and forths with either some people from the past, or with our current partners that we have, or with an idea that maybe I want this in love, no I don't, I want this in love, no I don't. Or your creative projects are sort of, not going the way that you wanted them to, and you're sort of starting to think, oh God, I need to redo this. I just don't really know how. Now is the time where you're going to be like, Okay, this is very important, especially because on the first day of the month, April the 1st, we have, obviously, such a weird thing to say, we have Venus meeting the North Node. This is actually quite an interesting day for love. I just wanted to put that out there. Very, very forward thinking. Venus will be in Pisces, loves being in Pisces, very dreamy, very romantic. The North Node is there as well. We're moving forward, some sort of fairy tale situation. If any of you are looking for love, April the 1st, don't dismiss everything as an April Fool's. It might actually be genuine, but it will be very, very romantic, very auspicious, very nice. Venus is retrograde, but you know, as much as people will try and scare you with the retrograde situation, don't be afraid. Venus is a benefic planet. She's good. She tries to give us loads of beautiful gifts. So don't worry about it. And Venus will be in a sign that it really particularly likes for this part of April. It's a really good day to go and get things, you know, like if you've been thinking about sending that text, although there is Mercury retrograde happening as well. So if you are thinking about sending that text, this is a great time to send it. It is also the period leading up to this, the last week of March. It's also a great time to think about whether you really would like to send it. If you are committed to sending it on the 1st, it's an excellent time. But if you're not sure, maybe steer clear of that one. But it's likely to get a decent response if that is something that you are looking for. But yeah, so we have this retrograde's most important themes are going to sort of come up to the surface around the 1st of April. And there is going to be a feeling from you guys of like a hunger to increase your connections, to increase those business partnerships, to put some effort, some energy into those interpersonal dynamics. And if there is a little glimpse of more excitement, of more moving forward in that area, please just follow it. Go with your intuition on that one. It's a time really to just feel the energy and be like, yeah, I'm going to go with it without thinking too much. We still have a bit of Aries energy sort of reverberating at the moment anyway, because these guys were just in Aries and they've only just moved back and will be going again. So they're sort of taking a little step back, having a bit of a romantic, poemy, artistic moment before they get their drive back in and go into Aries and move forward quite a lot. So if on the 1st of April or thereabouts, you start to really see and more excitement in terms of your business partnerships or your creative projects or one-on-one relationships of any sort, follow the energy. Don't get too carried away. We need some boundaries in this situation as well. But it's a good day. Like, free yourself from some of these little setbacks that you've had in those areas. Sort of go with the creativity and enjoy just being there for pure pleasure. If you are wanting a date day, this could be a great date day for you and your partner, or you and your, you know, situationship person, or just some friends or something that you really enjoy. This is a good day to do it. So I would really look out for that. And then on the 6th of April, there's quite an actually exciting day for a lot of things, really. You have this beautiful sun sextiling Jupiter. So they're 3 signs away from each other. That's what we call a sextile. When you hear people talk about sextiles, that's what they mean, you know, 1, 2, 3. And they meet up and they witness each other at this angle. And there's something really beautiful about it. It's a great day for success. If you are looking to finalize a project, or even just not even finalize, but think of an idea for a project, there might be some ideas that come to you, some sparks of creativity, some sparks of enthusiasm that come over there. And it is a great day to also, if you have any lucky things, like, you know, a crystal that makes you feel lucky that you carry in your pocket if you're going to do an interview or something difficult, or you have a specific like ritual that you like to do, or a way you like to meditate, or a manifestation exercise you like to do, or even a prayer that you like to say that makes you feel comforted, really dust that off. You know, if you haven't done it in a while, really start to think about that. Put your crystals out in the moonlight, and and do some cleansing rituals, and just really live in that sort of lucky energy. It's a really nice day. There's a bit of a boost of enthusiasm, a bit of a boost of abundance. If you are going to apply for a new job, good day to do it. It's a key date for success for this year. There's a lot of generosity to be had and a lot of blessings to be found. This will depend, obviously, where that sits for you. But there are a lot of blessings to be found in this day. And also, not only that, there is a trine between Venus and Mars. You have Venus here and Mars here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They make a 120-degree angle, which we call a trine. It's a beautiful moment to really like fight for the right to have fun, right? Like fight for the right to love. Really put the effort into just enjoying yourself, just embracing some creativity. So this all happens on the same day. We have these two very auspicious interactions between the planets. And it's just a really nice time for you to enjoy. If you find yourself questioning, oh God, why am I having a good day today? I don't really know. Is something going to go wrong? You know, when you have that little voice in your mind that's like, don't enjoy this. This is going to go wrong again. Just don't listen to that today. Try and say, you know what? Thank you so much for your input, but I just kind of don't care. And just enjoy that, live in that. And you know, by April the 7th, the focus really shifts to from like seeking love to like really putting the labor into love. All right, you know, like enjoying that level of patience, that commitment, the effort, you know, your dedication. Like this is the time where instead of focusing upon that romantic dreamy sense of like, I really want a partner, I really want to embrace my relationship more, I really want to do this, and this is so romantic and so royal and so lovely. It's a time where you're like, you know what, relationships require work. Like they require work. No matter how much you are, you know, bold head over heels of like, this is a romantic fairy tale, like relationships require work. And by the time we hit the 7th of April, we're really starting to think like, okay, what work needs to be put into my relationship? You might not be going through a bad time in your relationships, or you might not even be in one, but it's more of a time to be like, what in my relationship causes it to go to a place that I don't like? And what causes it to resolve itself in terms of any conflicts or any disagreements or just anything that makes you clash a little bit? And it will be very obvious around this time what the cause and effect of that is. Like, what is it that in your relationship makes things go a bit awry, and how you can work on that, you know? And it's no shame. Like, things require work, and you're going to start to realize, and these things are going to start to bubble up, and you're like, okay, this is my fairy tale. This is what I want, but there's something that needs to change. There's something that needs to shift. And that'll be something you have to think about. You know, showing up for each other is going to pay off. Showing up for others, having other people show up for you is really going to pay off around the 7th of April. So it's worth you realizing, or worth you observing where you need to show up more, and putting that bit of ego aside of like, oh, but I always show up. I do this for them every day, and I do this for them every day. But do you show up in the ways that they need you to show up, or do you show up in the ways that you would like someone to show up for you? And that really is the question. You know, you might wash the dishes and clean the house every day, and you think like, oh, this is really helping. They don't have to do it. Like, why don't they think I show up for them? But do you tell them, like, I really love you on a day to day? Do you tell them how beautiful you think they are? Or do you make sure they go to bed at a certain time because you know that it's better for them? You know, how do you show up in a way that is what they really need from you? And then if you feel sort of disconnected in this time from fun because you are putting so much work into this, like really just let the mundane inspire you. We still have the Aries energy going on, you know, we have the fantasy Pisces energy. So let those things inspire you. Let, like, you know, even if you catch yourself being like, oh my God, this is so much work, I'm so bored. Like, how can I make something fun out of this? Like, how can I do something with this? You also have the Mercury retrograde ending on the 7th as well, which might prove good for any conversations of disagreements that need smoothing out over this time, okay? Because I'm sure some of you, some of us, some of anyone has experienced disagreements and some short tempers in this Mercury retrograde. So that's okay. That's going to end on the 7th, which is really, really good. We're all going to really look forward to that. And then, you know, on the 7th, the sort of communications that we have been experiencing that have been tied up, you know, like a big old knot, are going to start getting untangled, and we're going to feel that sigh of relief that we all have wanted to feel this whole time. The same with Venus, actually, because on the 12th, Venus will also come out of retrograde. Excellent. Thank you. Lovely. I mean, Venus retrograde, not too bad, but it is great for it to be out of it. So on the 12th, you know, Venus comes out of retrograde. It enjoys itself in Pisces for the last little bit. There's a forward momentum here. You know, there's a lot of good interactions that happen around this time where they'll feel like they flow more, and you'll feel like they're more romantic and loving, or like just full of nice words, kind words, nice things. You know, things that are positive, that are really going to help you feel more calm, because things have been a bit direct, and they will continue to be direct just now when Venus moves into Aries later on. But for now, on the 12th, enjoy I say romance, but I don't just mean romance, I mean like poetry. You know, where people use their words just very nicely, and you get to enjoy it, which is very, very cute. I think that this is also a really good time to pause for a minute, you know? Like, think of any insights that have come up throughout this Venus retrograde, and the Mercury one as well, to be honest, this sort of retrograde season with the eclipses. Take a second to really integrate any lessons that you've learned during that time to move forward into something a little bit different. What happened? What was brought up for you during those retrograde? What did you have to revisit? What was quite difficult? What did you find you want to let go of? What was no longer serving you? Or what came up out of the blue that you were like, oh God, I don't need this, and how can you stop that happening again? Or how can you deal with it differently now? How can you deal with that in a more effective way, especially in terms of your communication? How can you communicate more effectively with others? What have you learned in terms of the way that you love, in terms of the way that you define what pleasure means to you, what fun means to you, and what it means to have a bond with others as well? I think that is a really important thing to remember. And then on the 15th, we have this little guy of Mercury moving back into Aries. He's ready for more direct communication. He is ready to, you know, say the things that need to be said. Sometimes maybe have no filter, but it's less about not having a filter, and it's more about being honest, you know, and saying things more of an impulse without overthinking them. So we have Mercury going in there on the 15th again, which is, you know, it's cool. But what I forgot to say was that on the 12th, because I've just realised we've skipped to the 15th, on the 12th, we have a full moon in Libra. Where is she? Here. I know she's a crescent moon, but just forgive her for being that. She's a full moon, a metaphorical full moon, and you can tell that. But we have this full moon on the 12th of April. Now, full moons are all about letting go. They're all about things that you've learned. They're all about things that, you know, what you want to take from the last cycle of the moon, and what you want to let go of, and kind of say, okay, well, I'm done with this. That was a great lesson to learn, but now I've moved on from that, and I'm not going to do that again. This new moon being in Libra is all about like strategy. It's all about fairness. It's all about balance. And it's all about striking that balance between what your head says and what your heart says. Libra isn't generally considered like the jewel sign. We always talk about that in terms of Gemini. But for me, Libra is an extremely dual natured sign, right? You have one thing on one side and one thing on the other, and how do you balance in between them? So what have you learned during the last cycle, which has meant that you've had to really focus on keeping things balanced? What have you learned about strategy? What have you learned about moving forward with grace, moving forward with integrity, moving forward with love in your heart, you know? And what have you learned about the times where you have sort of let one of those slip by the wayside? You know, when have you allowed your heart to lead you into a place that wasn't good? Where have you allowed your head to lead you somewhere that maybe you didn't really allow yourself to feel much of that, and actually you wish you had now looking back? So it's really important that during this sort of full moon situation, you take the time to reflect. And what part of you, and in terms of the balance between your head and your heart, what part of that is feeling illuminated for you? Is it in terms of a relationship that you got into too fast and you let your heart lead you and it didn't really go somewhere that you wanted? Or you made a decision based on how you felt in the moment and it wasn't necessarily the best decision? Were you impatient? Did you wait too long? Did you spend too long thinking about something that could have been a beautiful opportunity and miss it? What is being illuminated for you about that? What are you boiling these things down to in order to really find that equilibrium between the two? And also, like, how have you grown in those areas? Like, how have you grown in terms of the way that you can implement balance? How have you grown in the ways that you can be fair? How can you have you grown in the ways that you have integrity? Like, what is it that you've learned over the last cycle that's made you feel like really super sure about your decisions? Because Libra can be a super indecisive sign. So what have you learned about not making decisions? And what have you learned about making decisions too fast? What opportunities have you missed out by not choosing? And what opportunities have you missed out on by choosing too quickly? And that's something to really focus on in that period of time. And then we move to there's a Saturn. There is a Saturn conjunction between the North Node and itself. So here we're really going to start to think about what it means to have boundaries moving forward, like what it means to be really responsible and take care of our own responsibilities. You know, what have we committed to that we want to move forward with? And what have we sort of committed to, but not really, and it's fallen by the wayside and we're like, yeah, whatever. And how do we feel about that? Like, how do we feel about showing up to those commitments? And how do we feel like the commitments that we made that were kind of commitments and we never really stuck to them? And how did that make us feel? How did that make other people feel? So that's on the 21st. And yeah, it's really a time to sort of focus on your commitments, I would say. Just be careful, like, about who it is or what it is, you know, in your life that consumes most of your energy. I think it's important to understand what aligns with your values and your priorities and what you want and who you are, and move that forward. Because if you don't, you're going to get stuck in this sort of half commitment, half not situation, and that doesn't really go too well. Especially if you really want to align something with you and something you really, really want to move forward with. If you do that, it's just never going to go where you want it to go. I think also this is another time to put in boundaries, but also there might be some boundaries that you have previously set that need testing. If you're feeling stuck and you have this urge to move forward, there are definitely some boundaries that you have put in place that really just need testing. How can you get out of your comfort zone? Are you stuck somewhere? Where is it that you need to move forward to? Like, how can you put that into practice? I mean, if you want to make things more sustainable in the long term, obviously these are all themes that you need to think about. But after that, we then have the Taurus new moon. So the moon, she's gone all the way around here, and now she's a new moon. Play pretend she's a new moon. But you can see her now. So the new moon is a really great, a really, really beautiful moment. It's a time to set intentions. It's a time to really think about what is next. And the moon quite likes Taurus, you know. The moon in Taurus is very nice. It's very sweet. We like it. It's very, very cute. And I think that this is the time for a fresh start, especially in terms of emotionally, in terms of what you want to nurture. Like, this is a fresh start. If you've been having any difficulties in terms of your connections or your relationship with family members or your children or things that you take care of, even in your garden. Like, I don't know, maybe you plant things and it's now, you know, it hasn't been growing too well, climate change and all of that terrible things that were supposed to flower in spring but didn't. Those things might start to flower over this new moon, or also you'll start to you know, find new plants that you can plant that grow really well. You know, that's a terrible analogy, but it also might be for you. Maybe you are actually a gardener. But if not, this is going to be about your personal relationships and about how you build things and how you keep fertile thoughts. Like, I don't know, thoughts of cultivation, thoughts that are generative, that grow, of projects that take time but do move in the right direction, things that you care about. So with the new moon, like, what do you want to begin? Like, what things do you want to start? What things have been on your mind that you want to move towards? Where do you want to go with that? Because it's a great time to sort of put those intentions out there and enjoy the energy for a minute where it's quite generative and quite loving and quite nurturing. This is a really lovely time to begin new projects or to, like, I don't know, plan for the future. Also a great time to cast spells. If any of you are witches, great time to cast spells, lovely. But yeah, it's really, really about setting fresh intentions, you know. It will be the end of April coming, and I think that you'll be starting to want to move towards May, you know, Taurus season. Oh yeah, I forgot. Taurus season. We've already moved into Taurus season. Apologies, Taurus. We have already moved into Taurus season at this point. So 20th of April, we move into Taurus season. 27th, we have this new moon. I also do believe that I've completely forgotten to say that Mars goes into Leo. All right. Actually, quite a big moment. Forgot to say that. Great. Out of Soggy Soldier, Cancer. Love that for us. A bit more movement forward. And then the last thing that happens in April is that we have Venus moving back into Aries. It leaves dreamy Pisces. It moves back into Aries. It's direct now, though. So we are moving in a fast forward momentum. And we are really sort of wanting to evolve. We are wanting to say what needs to be said. We are wanting to do what needs to be done. All of our feminine energy is becoming much more powerful. We are really enjoying that feminine masculine balance, but keeping that gorgeous energy that we have. This is such a difficult thing to explain. You know, Venus is all feminine energy, right? Regardless of what sex you are, what gender you identify as, it doesn't matter. It is our feminine energy. And when it moves into Aries, it gets this like extra boost of masculine energy, but still keeping the feminine. Think like big woman, CEO, boss wearing a suit and loads of makeup. That is, when I think of Venus and Aries, that is what I think of. Preferably red or black. You know, like that girl. The girl who walks down the street and is talking to the other CEOs and like telling them what's what, right? Like the person who's like, you know what? I don't have time for this. I have money to be made. I have things to do. And I have children to take care of at home. Get gone. You know what I mean? Like, she is full woman energy, but has that, like, patriarchal situation. That is Venus and Aries for me. If that analogy resonates with you, you know, I hope so. If it doesn't, I apologize. But that is what I think of when I see it. So we have Venus moving back into Aries. We have a little bit of a go, go, go. Again, lots of Aries energy going on. So that kind of sums up April in terms of the actual transition of the planets and how they interact with each other and all that kind of thing. What we'll do is we will go into your reading now and talk about exactly how that plays out in your chart. Okay, so, you know, we'll see properly whether the Venus, the Venus conjunct North Node is going to be more to do with your business partnerships, more to do with your relationships, or more to do with your creative projects. All right, so we will pinpoint exactly what that is for you and where that will go in terms of your life specifically. But that was just a little overview of what the planets are doing and how they're hanging out. Key dates to watch, I will repeat for you. So if you want to write them down, we have the 1st of April is a key date for love, interpersonal connections and relationships. Then we have the 6th. The 6th of April, very big key date. It's a key date for success with the Sun sextiling Jupiter. It's a key date for love, where the Venus trines Mars. And it's a key date for blessings, generosity, creativity, fertility, and all that lovely stuff. So that's the 6th. And then we have the 12th, which is the full moon in Libra, which is a great time for pursuing balance, making a strategy for the next cycle of the moon, thinking about what the balance is between our head and our heart. And then after that, we have we have on the 24th, Venus conjunct Saturn, which is all about having gratitude for who's been there all along for you. And, you know, listening to your favorite old songs and reminiscing about the past and seeing who's still with you and who's not and why you let go of them and how these wonderful people are still there or these wonderful things are still there. And then another key date is the 27th, where we have this new moon in Taurus, which is great. All about fertility, all about generativity and generosity, but generativity. All about nurturing, all about casting your spells, all about setting your intentions, all of that good stuff. And those are the key dates that I have for you. I am putting them on the screen for you now, just so that you remember, because I know that was quite a quick overview. But we will get into your reading now. So I'll see you in a second. Hello, my sweet Taurus. Welcome to your reading. Okay, gang, so you have a lot of things going on in terms of the friendships and the communities and the groups that you are part of and the ways you find good fortune. You also have like a super beautiful, we were just talking about the new moon in Taurus, and the moon is exalted in Taurus. So it means that the moon is super, super happy in Taurus. It gets a lot of generativity. It gives us a lot of gifts when it is in that sign. And for you guys, it is in your sign, which is beautiful. New moons are all about intentions. New moons are all about new beginnings, about manifestation, about where we go from here. It's about the beginning of a journey with all the excitement and all the intention of moving forward. It's that feeling in your stomach of like, yeah, I have places to go and I really want to get there, and it gives you a little bit of inspiration, which is beautiful for you. I think like for this period of time, this April, it's important for you guys to focus on the way that you communicate within your groups and how that affects the dynamics of who you surround yourself with. For example, like when we talk about the communities and groups, we talk about friendship groups as a whole, you know, not singular friendships of one or two people, but as a group. Or we talk about clubs or things that you're a part of, you know, like if you do a sport, it's your sports club, or if you are part of an advocacy group, it's that group. Or even like it can be like where Mercury's involved here. So we have group chats, you know, like we have those types of group chats on WhatsApp or whatever messaging service you use, considering we now have technology in order to have conversations. So it's the way that you interact within those spaces and those places and those people that are part of something that you are also a part of. There's a lot of focus on your interpersonal connections in that way, not necessarily in your love romantic connections, more about the people that align with you and the way that you both that you all feel connected in some way. So there is going to be the opportunity to in the beginning of the month, there will be this idea of being a little bit careful around miscommunication in these types of groups. But throughout the month, there will be these opportunities to unravel any tensions or unravel any difficult conversations that you've been having amongst yourselves. Maybe there's been some disputes, maybe. And these can be small, you know, when we talk about disagreements or arguments or disputes, it doesn't have to be huge, but it can be just something that you aren't happy with in how the group is being run. Or if it's a friendship group, you aren't happy with how the time is being split. Maybe you are the friend who always has to travel to do stuff. Maybe your friends live close to each other and you live far away, and you're always the one who has to travel long distances to get there. And it seems kind of unfair, but you go along with it because you're like, hey, they're my friends and I love them. And these little tiny things that might require just a little bit of a rework, those are the places that we're going to be focused on. And it's about to be time that these things calm down and you start to find your place in the group. If you are somebody who always feels a little bit outside, a little bit on the outskirts, the perimeter of the group, I just saw 333. I don't know if that's relevant to any of you, but there might be an angel number there for you. Angel number, 3, the third house is the house of communication, about extended family. So there could also be some sort of thing happening in your extended family as well. I will say that. But yeah, like there's something here that is going to allow you to find your place in a group or the groups that you are already a part of. If you don't have them already, this is a great opportunity to find those places where you feel you fit in. Look out for the things this month that make you feel a little bit uninspired in the people that you surround yourself with, a little bit bored or apathetic in terms of like the situations that you find yourself in and the people you find yourself interacting with, and see how you can inspire yourself in those situations, or see how you can find people who inspire you more than the ones who are already here. We will start with pulling some of these cards just to have a little bit of the overall energy of the month for you guys. But for me, this month is going to be a really interesting month for you, especially with that new moon at the end of the month, which is solely about you. That new moon, we'll delve a bit into that because that's important for you, Taurus, specifically. But it's very, very much all about you and very much about how you want to set yourself up. Because at the end, remember, we are also about to go into Taurus season. So with Taurus season being there and with this new moon being there, there's a lot of energy channeled into who you are. And Taurus is actually known for its like lavish nature, its beauty, it's a Venusian energy. So it's all about beauty, it's all about sometimes appearance, sometimes material possessions. But if you are feeling quite insecure about who you are at the moment, maybe your appearance, or there's some things that are making you feel uncomfortable, that new moon and the end of the month are really going to lend themselves towards making you feel confident and making you feel like you are the best version of you, and feeling like you walk down the street and people kind of look at you, but not in a bad way. Like they kind of look at you and they're like, wow, I like your outfit, or wow, you look very pretty today. You might find that you get like random compliments from people, and at first you might be like, why are you complimenting me? But afterwards you're kind of like, yeah, like I do look cute today, what the hell? Okay, so we'll pull you some of these cards to find out the overall energy. So what is the overall energy for Taurus this April 2025? Okay, so for you guys, perhaps this memory card is about visiting groups that you've been a part of in the past, or friendships that you've had for a really long time that maybe you've forgotten about or didn't realize were still there. Or there is also a lot here about celebrating. Sorry, these cards are not. There you go. Anyway, there's also a lot here about celebrating who has stuck with you throughout this entire process. Especially, there is this Venus conjunct Saturn as well at the end of the month, where we should really be, you know, celebrating the older connections, the friends that we've had for a long time and never left our side, or the places that make us feel safe and always have done, or the songs and the memories that you have with others from a long time ago, how they make you feel, and celebrate those things. So whoever it is that has been by your side, even if you've forgotten about them, like even if they're not someone you've spoken to yesterday or the day before, even if they're someone you last saw a year ago, if they are somebody who you remember that has been really there for you through a lot of hard times, even if it's not been recently, it's a great time to reach out to them. A great time to reach out to them. And to be fair, some of you might end up reaching out to some not old people in age, but old people that you know, and find that you guys are actually willing to collaborate on something that you weren't expecting before. There is productivity here, and I do think that that relates to this idea of memory, this idea of community that had previously come before. So if there is anything you are looking to collaborate with people on, like for example, if you are an artist and you're sort of, you remember you had another friend who did art a while ago and you loved them, but you just drifted apart as people do when they grow up, right? And you think, oh my goodness, like how cool would it be actually if we could both create this piece together, because I need someone to collaborate with me on it and I don't really know where to go from here and I need a second opinion. If you reach out to that person, the likelihood of them coming back and you creating something brilliant together is quite high. And if it's not you who reaches out, there is a likelihood that somebody else is going to reach out to you with the same intention of, hey, I was thinking about you the other day, really weird, don't know why you crossed my mind, but I'm creating this thing and I would really like you to join me on it. You don't have to be an artist for this. It could be something on any type of business venture. It could be on a volunteering basis. It could be on like just a helpful basis. Maybe you are you're both teachers or something like that and you need help for your lesson plans. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you do. But it could be something to do with the way that you both can bring something to a team that the other one can. So you can do together what you can't do by yourself, is what I'm trying to say. Shall we see, what other information do you have for Taurus? So what can Taurus expect for April 2025? What can Taurus expect? Hold on, that was too many. What can Taurus expect for April 20? My God, Taurus, what's going on? The cards are having a bit of a meltdown over it. What can Taurus expect? Okay. So I think, right, so we have water. Water holds memory. This is a very age-old saying of, you know, that we believe that water has memory. I don't know if you've seen that ice experiment where people like say things to the ice, or they do one with tears where when people cry sad tears, they look different to when people cry happy tears. If you don't know that, have a look. It's very interesting. The patterns of the tears change based on what emotion we are feeling at the time. So there is something in here definitely about going back to the past. We do have 2 retrogrades, obviously, both in your 11th house. So it is very much so going back to the past and revisiting those old memories about communities and groups you used to be a part of. Whether you like them still or not doesn't really matter. There is a theme of going back to the past here. Okay. And so some of you, maybe, if you're not feeling like you are aligned with those groups of people, maybe it's that, or if you don't feel that you are aligned with people that you are with right now, there is a going against the grain here. So there might be quite a month where you start to do things that you weren't doing before, where you start to integrate in groups that you weren't before, or where you start to pull away from groups that you don't feel that you fit in anymore. But not pull away and be on your own, pull away to something different. Pull away to a group that feels more aligned with you, something that makes you feel good, something that you're happy to meet up with all the time, something that you really want to share your life with, you know. What else can you tell Taurus about April 2025? Yeah. See, it's the new beginning. It's lovely. It's a new beginning. It's a new feeling. It's a feeling of like, hey, I really went through the dark depths in terms of what I'm surrounded by, and now I'm waking up into something way more beautiful and something that really fills me with confidence and fills me with joy and fills me with, you know, the idea that I really want a group of friends, or I really want to be a part of a group. Yeah, a group that's going to make you feel very protected. Yeah. And there's a lot of loving energy here. And if any of you have been feeling like quite lonely or quite isolated from any types of groups, it's even if like you guys are far apart, even if you have an amazing friendship group but not all of you live together in the same place, and you feel quite isolated because you can only talk when you're on the technology on your phone, for example, you know what I mean, If you are feeling that isolated, I wouldn't be surprised as well if there was a meetup of some kind that was unexpected. Maybe they surprise you. Maybe they show up at your house and they're like, hey, we're coming to stay. And you're like, oh my God, I really needed my friends right now. It could be something along those lines. And anything, if you've been having disputes in these friendship groups or these types of communities that you're a part of, like, don't worry, because throughout the month, these things are going to get more and more sorted, more and more solved, more and more comfortable. And towards the end of the month, because we are moving into your season, you are going to get a boost of confidence. And I don't even think that it comes from them necessarily boosting you up. I think this comes from you. Like, there is a newfound confidence that is a combination of this group of people, but also some stuff that you've done to build up that confidence for yourself. It could even be the confidence comes from putting yourself out there and meeting new people. Like, that could be the reason for your confidence. It might be intertwined in that way. What else can you tell Taurus about April? Yeah. See, okay, so because we do have Venus, we have Venus doing a lot of things. Venus is your ruler. Venus is a very important planet to you. Venus is someone you should really get to know. If you don't know Venus already, please do get to know your Venus sign and Venus in general and what she brings to us. But there's a lot of movement in Venus. She is very, very busy in the month of April. So I said at the beginning, you know, there's this massive focus on your interpersonal dynamics. There's a massive focus on how you interact with people, how you spend time with the people you want to spend time with, how you approach your connections in general. So there's a lot of themes of this, and I think the connection that you guys are going to feel over this month is massive. And if you are someone who's a little bit shy, or you're anxious, insecure, whatever you may be, yeah, okay, so as I was talking about that, these two came out, which is great, because this is the sign of confidence. This is the sign of, some people might say ego, but I would disagree. I would say just pure confidence, knowing what you are worth, knowing that you want to go for something, and knowing that you're going to go there and it's going to be fine, and walking into a room and not even thinking that maybe someone might be looking at you weirdly. There's definitely an invitation here. Definitely an invitation. So I do think that some of these people might reach out to you, not only you reaching out to them. I think there's high potential that these people will reach out to you and you will be very surprised. Look at that. And there you are on the bottom of the deck. Beautiful. I love this for you. Okay, cool. So we definitely have this massive theme of connection. There's a very big theme of connection, which doesn't surprise me because we do have Venus doing a lot of her thing. There is some sort of invitation coming towards you that is going to make you feel very confident and make you feel very, very abundant. This to me screams like meal. You know, when you all meet up for some food, or you end up like going to a restaurant for something to eat, and you can bonding over food is honestly like an age-old tradition. Like 1551, that is my angel number, by the way. So that means something to me. So that might mean something to you as well. So this is definitely important. There's something here about that Taurus nature as well of bonding over food. Like, I'm sorry, but Taurus is all about the material. Taurus is all about the lavish. Taurus is all about fertility and generativity. And that is also including food. You know, and with this pumpkin here, I'm going to say it again. There is something coming towards you that is an invitation of some sort that is going to make you feel a huge amount of connection. I wouldn't say that this is a date. Unless that person is amongst other people, I wouldn't say this is a one-on-one date. Although it could be, that's not what I would suggest with this energy. I will ask, however, if there's something new coming towards you in love, just out of interest, because we do have a lot of cards of connection, and often when we think of connection, we think of one-on-one relationships and partnerships. So I will see what that means for you, but there's definitely something here that leads to a very abundant opportunity, which comes from a group of people. So I'm going to see if this is something that is, you know, around a romantic connection or relationship. I don't know if it is, so don't be disappointed if I say it's not. But I just wanted to ask, because I think If it's here, we may as well see, because some of you might be wondering. And with that memory card, if it is, it could be someone from the past, but let's see. Is this a romantic relationship coming towards Taurus? Is this some sort of romantic situation, or... I mean, look, at the end of the day, everything can always be. But for me, this is what I was thinking. I don't think it's romantic. All right? That's fine. Don't think it's romantic. Not this time. There could be something romantic that comes from this, but this is definitely a group of people that are going to work together. There's a lot of drive here. There's a lot of determination. There's a lot of masculine energy. So if you are, you know, you lean towards the more masculine types of people that you are attracted to, definitely it could be of that gender or that sex that you are attracted to, or that appearance that you are more attracted to. That could be somebody who comes in with that appearance. If you are not someone who is attracted to the more masculine gender, then this is going to be just somebody that you meet, a group of people that you meet who have a lot of drive and determination and are willing to work together. This is also a group of people that you meet that make you feel confident, and I definitely want to point that out to you. Because of this new moon as well, at the end of the month, there's something here that is very important about you feeling confident and about you bringing your whole self to the situation. I want to know, though, what you're going to work on together, because I feel like that's quite important. Or what you're going to create together, or what you're going to do together, this group of people, because this might be a surprise to some of you. If you are already planning on something with a group of people, you probably already know what this is. Or if you're missing a group of people, you probably already know who these people are. But out of interest, like, what are these guys going to do with these people? Like, is this a work venture? Is this a creative venture? What is this? Ooh. Oh, maybe this is competition. Maybe there's some sort of competition that you're going to enter to win together, that you're going to work as a team. I don't know why I just got that vibe then. That was really weird, but I don't know. I just thought about it and I was like, maybe you form a team. Oh my god, now all the cards have fallen everywhere. Sorry, everyone. But maybe there's a team venture here of some kind. What does this have to do with? Maybe this is... Or maybe you guys just go to a pub quiz. I mean, we have the most competitive sign on the bottom of the deck over here. So it could just be that you all meet up and it ends up being a pub quiz. You know, if you're from the UK, you're very familiar with pub quizzes. It could just be that. But there's something really fun about whatever it is that you're going to do. And there's something very generative about whatever it is that you're going to do. Now, you may come up against some resistance. So that's why I said competition, because maybe you will come up against some resistance with the ability and the ease at which you can do this thing. Or if you are an artist, this is just going to be the fact that art is very difficult to, you know, come by, right? Like there is a lot of things that goes into making art. And unfortunately, sometimes their rewards are much further away than you might like, because art is very subjective. But there is a lot of cool things. There's a lot of cool things here. And I would really look out for the first week in April, because there is something very, very lucky about that. So if you are entering a competition with your friends, or you are doing a team venture with your friends that has competition, the first week is an excellent week for you to either prepare what you're going to do or to do it. Excellent week. Up until the 7th, we love it. There's a lot of success to be had. And in the full moon in Libra, that is in your 6th house. So some of you, this might be for work. Some of you might be starting a new 9 to 5. But what will Taurus be... Hold on a minute. Wait a sec. What will Taurus be letting go of at that full moon? The full moon in Libra on the 12th. What will Taurus be letting go of? Okay, so maybe you guys will be finalizing, like, who the people that you want to surround yourself with are. Like, who are these people? What do they give me? Maybe you're going to be able to stop looking for the place where you belong, because you've been looking for a place where you belong for a while, and perhaps you guys are like, hey, you know what? Now I found my place. I'm done. I'm good. It's no worries. There's something here about letting go of old dynamics, or letting go of, could also be letting go of seeking validation from the groups that you are a part of. With the Gemini card here, it could be that there's a letting go of trying to impress others, a letting go of trying to talk all day long so that people don't really ask you any questions. You know what I mean? Like trying to avoid getting to know other people. There's just definitely a letting go here of being something other than who you really are. And with the new moon, I really want to know as well, what is the new moon going to bring Taurus? Because this is Taurus's new moon. This is a big moment for Taurus. So what is the new moon in Taurus bringing them? Yeah. A new way of stepping into your own power. A new way of rebelling against the norm. You see, it's about you being passionate. This new moon is going to allow you to set intentions to be confident, to be passionate, to do whatever it is. There you go. Exactly. This is what I'm saying to you guys. There is a passionate nature to this new moon. There is the ability for you guys to have confidence, the ability for you guys to feel at your best, to feel that you are, you know, at your most generative, at your most passionate, at your most excited, and feel like you walk into a room and you're like, yeah, look at me. Why not? Yeah, because you've been working hard on this. There's a lot of joy to be had. I really do believe that this is just a boost in your confidence, a massive boost. You know, you guys as well, Uranus will be moving from your sign later on in the year. So there's a huge boost here in your confidence. There is a huge letting go of whatever was holding you back, a massive choice to move forward with, you know, a bit more inspiration and let go of any fears that you were hanging on to. I'm going to, because I did this with Aries, I'm going to finish off with pulling you a little Woodland archetype card for what you will embody at the end of April, because I want to see what the progress is for you guys at the end of April. Hold on, there's too many there. Ooh, dreams. Okay, dreams. So, love this for you. Okay, so basically, what they are trying to say here, you are going to be embodying something that feels mystical. Something that feels interconnected with your dreams and your values, and something that is going to go and get, you know, something that is going to go and get what they want without needing to make a big song and dance of it and just doing it. You don't need to be right in your face. You can wait and settle and go, you know, through the channels to get what you need. You don't need to rush in. You don't need to jump on, you know, any opportunity right now. You just need to be confident, and you just need to be somebody who, when you walk in the room, people look at you and are like, yeah, that person knows what they're on about. Yeah. And that's what you're going to be like at the end of the month. It's somebody who's like, yeah, you know what? Like, this person knows what they're on about. This person is the person I want to be a part of my group, just because of the way you walk in the room. You walk in the room with your head held high, you walk in the room with a smile on your face, and you walk in a room with a lovely, like, positive spring in your step that makes people very magnetized towards you. So whatever it is that you're dreaming of right now, there is the ability for it to come into fruition. There is a freedom that comes, oh my goodness. There is a freedom that comes with this. There is a love that comes with this. There is a go-get-it nature that comes with this. And I'm really, really excited because all of these successful things that happen come from you being confident and integrating yourself into a community that makes you feel seen. And I have been, there's a lot of Taurus recently, or for the last couple of months, who felt quite lonely or are unsure of their actual place in the world and not really knowing, you know, where do I go from here? What do I do? But there's something really nice about this. There's something about you feeling so confident that the groups that you are a part of merge into that confidence, and you become like more powerful than before, just because you are confident in yourself, but not only that, surrounded by the people that make you feel like that. So you have like the double of the confidence. And I love that for you. I think that's very beautiful. And I would love to know in the comments like how your April is going. Do you have anything planned? Is it any of your birthdays? Because, you know, if you're a Taurus rising, it might not be. But if you are a Taurus sun, it's likely we have a couple of Tauruses here who have a birthday. So if that is the case and it is your birthday, there is likely that some old friends will show up at your birthday party, or throw your birthday party, or do something cute for you on your birthday that you didn't really see coming. But yeah, if you enjoy your reading, please give us a little like, a little thumbs up. And if you would like, subscribe to our channel. We have tons more of this coming for you. We've only just begun this little journey. So please join us on our YouTube journey. We would really appreciate it. But until the next video, I love you. And I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day, my lovely Taurus. And let me know how your April goes.